He was Adolf Hitler's most secretive officer, feared by millions, trusted by none, a man whose signature meant imprisonment, torture, or death. Heinrich Müller, chief of the Gestapo, the man who commanded Hitler's internal terror machine, the man who sat at the heart of every major Nazi crime, and the only top Nazi official who was never found. In May 1945, as Nazi Germany collapsed, Heinrich Müller walked into the ruins of Berlin and vanished. No body, no grave, no confirmed sighting, only a trail of contradictory reports, misidentified corpses, Cold War intelligence files, and a silence that stretched for decades. Heinrich Müller was born on April 28, 1900 in Munich, then capital of the conservative Catholic Kingdom of Bavaria. His father was a low-ranking police civil servant. His upbringing was strict, disciplined, and inward-looking. At age 18, Müller joined the Bavarian army as World War I was ending. He was a decorated pilot awarded the Iron Cross Second Class. The war shaped him, not in ideology but in discipline, hierarchy, and obedience. After the war, Bavaria dissolved into unrest. Communists seized control of Munich in 1919. Müller witnessed political violence firsthand: executions, street battles, and mass arrests. These early experiences hardened him into a man with a simple worldview. Order must be restored at all costs. In 1919, he joined the Munich police force, not out of ideology, but because the police offered stability. Over the next decade, Müller developed a reputation: tireless worker, absolutely loyal, master of interrogations, emotionally cold, not corruptible, politically neutral at this stage. By 1933, Müller was head of the political police unit in Munich. He opposed both communists and the Nazis, distrusting any revolutionary movement. But that was about to change. When Hitler was appointed chancellor in January 1933, Müller's world transformed. The Nazi Party began purging anyone who resisted their power. Müller, known for efficiency, became valuable to the new regime. He did not join the Nazi Party immediately, but he cooperated. He worked directly with Reinhard Heydrich, head of the Nazi security apparatus. Heydrich recognized something rare in Müller: total emotional detachment, perfect for secret police work. By late 1934, Müller joined the Gestapo, the Geheime Staatspolizei, or secret state police. He quickly rose through the ranks. Müller's role: overseeing interrogations, building informant networks, coordinating arrests, monitoring political enemies, managing files and surveillance systems. His skill was not brutality, though brutality happened. His skill was organization. Müller built the most efficient political police system in modern Europe. By 1936, Müller became chief of the Gestapo. Heydrich oversaw the intelligence empire. But Müller ran the daily machinery of repression. Under his direction, the Gestapo expanded to track Jews, suppress dissent, monitor churches, break resistance networks, run concentration camp transport systems, manage border surveillance, control political loyalty. Müller personally signed thousands of arrest orders. He was the quintessential Nazi bureaucrat, precise, unemotional, methodical. His loyalty shifted, not because of belief in Hitler's ideology, but because Müller valued discipline and order above all else. When Heydrich was assassinated in 1942, Müller became even more powerful. Heinrich Müller played a central administrative role in the Holocaust. He was not a frontline killer. He was the man who ensured the system functioned smoothly. His office coordinated mass arrests, deportation schedules, transport logistics, communication with SS units, suppression of uprisings, tracking escapees. Extermination reports from the East. Müller attended the Wannsee Conference indirectly, receiving and distributing its minutes and implementation instructions. He reviewed execution reports from Einsatzgruppen units on the Eastern Front. He supervised the search for escaped Jews hidden by resistance networks. He managed foreign intelligence investigations into resistance groups. Müller was the administrator of genocide, the man who made sure no one slipped through the system. In April 1945, Soviet forces surrounded Berlin. Government officials fled, but Heinrich Müller stayed. He chose to remain at Gestapo headquarters on Prince Albrecht Strasse, then moved into the Führerbunker complex. Witnesses saw him regularly, calm, in full uniform, chain smoking, still working on reports even as Berlin crumbled. Müller told colleagues, "I know the Soviets, I know what awaits me, I will not let them capture me." He was last confirmed alive on May 1, 1945, the day after Hitler's suicide. He was seen in the Reich Chancellery courtyard speaking to General Krebs and others. Then, he disappeared. No one saw him again. The search for Heinrich Müller began immediately. The Allies wanted him more than almost any other Nazi official. He had overseen every aspect of the Gestapo's work. He knew every informant, every spy, every secret. But Müller had vanished completely. 3 possibilities existed. He died in Berlin in early May 1945. He was captured, and secretly, by the Soviets. He escaped using forged documents. For decades, historians debated these options. Now we examine each one, using only confirmed archival evidence. The immediate post-war belief was that Müller died during the fall of Berlin. Early U.S. documents assumed it. Some German witnesses claimed it. A body was even found in 1945 that some believed might be Müller, but the evidence does not hold. But there were few objections. The buried in a mass grave claim. In 1945, German officers claimed Müller was buried in a mass grave near the Reich Chancellery. However, no remains were identified. No records were found. Exhumations showed no match. Soviet reports contradicted German claims. 2. The body with SS uniform claim. Another claim suggested Müller's corpse was found still in uniform. But the body was never positively identified. Forensic documentation was incomplete. 3. No testimony from the bunker. Unlike other deaths, Hitler, Goebbels, Krebs, Müller had no corroborated eyewitness account. The Müller died in Berlin theory remains possible, but is unsupported by concrete physical evidence. The second theory, Müller was taken by Soviet intelligence. The Soviets captured thousands of Nazi officials. They interrogated Müller's deputy, Franz Breithaupt. They seized entire Gestapo archives. Müller would have been a priceless intelligence asset. Supporting points. Foreign Soviet silence. Unlike other captured Nazis, no Soviet archive ever released confirmation of Müller's fate. Silence itself is suspicious. 2 statements from former Soviet officers. Years later, some Soviet officers claimed, unofficially, that Müller was interrogated in Moscow. No documents support this. 3. Müller's knowledge. He knew. Gestapo informants. Foreign agents. Resistance movements. Nazi internal conflicts. Secret communications networks. The Soviets had every reason to want him alive. But there was a problem. No verified Soviet record has ever surfaced. And the final conclusion is, possible but unproven. Some claim Müller fled Berlin and escaped Europe. But unlike Eichmann, Mengele, or Barbie, there is zero verified evidence Müller was seen alive after 1945. European, U.S., and Israeli intelligence investigated hundreds of alleged sightings. None were confirmed. The escape theory, though popular, has no documented basis. From 1945 through the 1950s, Allied agencies aggressively searched for Müller. U.S. Counterintelligence Corps, CIC efforts. Interrogating former Gestapo officers. Reviewing burial sites. Searching mass graves. Analyzing documents from the bunker. Tracking escape routes. CIA involvement. By the 1950s, the CIA reviewed Müller's case repeatedly, but they found nothing. CIA conclusion: Müller most likely died in Berlin in May 1945. But even they admitted, evidence is inconclusive. West German investigations, 1960-1980. The West German government reopened the Müller case in the 1960s and 1970s. Investigators searched hospitals, prisons, immigration records, cemeteries, intelligence archives, family contacts. They found nothing. One point became clear. There was no verifiable activity by Müller after May 1945. The 1963 grave find incident. Runtime in 1963. Workers discovered skeletal remains in a Berlin cemetery. Some speculated it was Heinrich Müller. The remains were examined. The results: body was too old, wrong height, no matching dental records, no confirmation possible, another dead end. East German Stasi files. After the fall of the Berlin Wall, historians gained access to East German Stasi files. Some had references to Müller, but nothing indicated he lived after 1945. Stasi conclusion: no evidence Müller survived the fall of Berlin. Analysis of all evidence. After 75 years of investigations, the combined evidence suggests: 1. No verified sighting ever occurred. 2. No escape route is documented. 3. No intelligence service claimed to have captured him. 4. All physical evidence of survival is unreliable. The most likely scenario: Heinrich Müller died in Berlin in May 1945. Not proven, but supported by the absence of any real trace afterward. Legacy of the Gestapo chief. Müller's legacy is one of bureaucracy turned deadly. He embodied the desk killer, the administrator who made mass murder efficient. His disappearance became a Cold War mystery, but his historical impact lies not in how he died, but in how he lived. He built and managed a system of terror that affected millions. His methods influenced secret police structures across totalitarian states for decades. Heinrich Müller remains the only major Nazi leader whose fate is still unknown. His disappearance left a void filled with rumors but no answers. But perhaps the real truth is simple. In the chaos of Berlin's collapse, in a city burning, surrounded by ruins, gunfire, and mass death, Heinrich Müller was swallowed by the end of the world he helped create. His legacy lives not in mystery, but in the historical record, a warning about the dangers of power when placed in the hands of cold, efficient, unaccountable men.